Jason Rzucidlo reporting from the Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn. NASCAR driver Matt Kenseth is here to preview the upcoming CARFAX 400 Race Weekend. Stay tuned for remarks from him and MIS President Roger Curtis.
Well, first, I thank everyone. If you've not heard, car owner Jack Roush was in an accident last night, landing his plane. He's okay. So I'm sure Matt's been getting a lot of questions about that, so I just thought we'd address that right away. No further update than what we know from last night, correct, Matt?
Not that I know.
Okay. So he's in stable condition, should be in good shape. So Matt, I want a little bit about Matt. As Patricia mentioned, he does really well at MIS. Is a former Sprint Cup Series champion, 2003, won the Daytona 500. And like all Ford drivers, they seem to do, he does really well at MIS. 14th, I think, back in June. So getting ready for the CARFAX 400 coming up here. And Matt, can you tell us a little bit about your season, how it's gone so far?
Well, it's been up and down for us. It seems like it's been getting a little bit better lately. We've been getting a little more consistent at our performance. I think, especially as an organization, has been picking up. So it seems to be getting better. We've got some good tracks coming up. I'm not sure about Pocono and Watkins. Then could go either way, but certainly look forward to getting back to Michigan and all the upcoming races. Michigan has been a good track for us all the time, and it's one we always look forward to going to.
Matt actually had, I mentioned where he finished in June, but he actually has won at MIS twice, June of '02 and August of '06. And your son's racing now too, correct? And doing pretty good?
Yeah, he's been doing pretty well. Ross is 17. He's been running a lot of late model stuff. He's been winning quite a few races this summer at Ford. So he's been doing well. It's been fun to watch and be part of.
You know, there's been a lot of changes in NASCAR this year, and even going back to late last year with the double file restarts. And I know they're really listening to the fans and some things to really spice it up a little bit. One of the things that I have found interesting is the have at it decree that Robert Pemberton had or made. What are your thoughts on that, and who are you going to have at it with?
It doesn't, you know, I probably don't have quite the same view as everybody else. It doesn't really make any difference to like how I approach racing or my etiquette or, you know, how I would race somebody or want them to race me. I think most of us, no matter what the rules are going to have, you know, your code, how you're going to treat people, how you hope to be treated back, you know, your ethics and how you're going to race. Now, I don't think the rules really change that. I mean, there's been times where I've definitely gotten onto the line and been in a feud with somebody, and we got fined from NASCAR and had things happen. And even if we weren't going to, you know, the same thing probably, you know, would have happened if we figured out how to settle it and handle things the right way and move on from there. And I've always raced together since. We've been friends and all that kind of stuff. So I don't, you know, I mean, it sounds good. I understand it. You know what they're saying. I think mainly that's from lifting, like the no bump drafting rules at Talladega, you know, for those couple races and everything. But other than that, I think everybody is still going to try to basically race people with respect. But at the same time, you know, we race as hard as we can for that spot, you know, at the end of the race.
I know Jack Roush and his teams and drivers, they have won everything. They won an ARCA race, they won a truck race, they won a nationwide race, they won several cup races. He's done the flyover. We're going to ask him to do the anthem. I think he will have done everything at MIS then. Why do you think Jack is so successful at MIS?
You're going to have Jack sing the national anthem? Is that what you said?
Yeah, he's done everything else. He did the flyover for us a couple of years ago.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It seems like there's some organizations, maybe some drivers, whatever, that are better at some tracks than others for whatever reason. Michigan's been a really good track for Roush racing ever since I came there, and I really learned a lot about that track, you know, and the style and how to attack the track and all that kind of stuff, probably from Mark Martin and Jeff Burton. They both had a ton of success there, especially when I first started at Roush. So, you know, I think that was a great track for Mark, and I think that kind of probably helped the whole organization at the time.
Matt, Roush is noted for innovations in racing throughout his career. What are some of those innovations that are currently helping you as a driver?
I mean, we're always trying to look for that next new thing. There's been a lot of things, you know, through the years that Roush, along with Ford and our engineers and our engineers have come up with, first that the way the garage area works today, everybody finds out about it, eventually. But there was a lot of things from, different. I don't want to tell them all, but certain things that have helped us, that other people have watched, and it's taken a year or two, and then they start producing them as well to help their cars. So there's a lot of things that you're always looking for that next thing, because the way the garage area is structured, everybody parked next to each other, and the way tech inspection works afterwards, when they take your car apart in front of everybody, it's hard to gain an advantage and keep it.
You share some of those innovations with your son?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's kind of part of the team, so I'm the team owner for Ross's late model stuff, so I've never wanted to own cars. It's way better being a driver, be able to go drive it and get paid for it, and not pay for it when it gets wrecked and all that kind of stuff. So the car owner part is a lot different. But yeah, you always, being on the other side of it, on the car owner stuff, you're always going to buy whatever you need and try to get the best stuff and work as hard as you can at it to get the best stuff to win with.
Last question. You've gone from bright yellow power tools to now bright purple whiskey. That's got to be quite a change.
Well, the yellow to the purple is definitely a change, but I think the stuff looks good. So, I mean, Dwell was a great partner with Roush Racing for, well, I think we had the second longest, at the time, it was the second longest driver-sponsor team relationship next to Gordon and his sponsor. So I was proud of them guys who were with us for so many years. A lot of things have changed. Stanley Tools bought Black & Decker basically, and they merged, and that changed a lot of things. So I was very happy that, and plus we had to go down to the 14 caps, left the extra sponsor and one driver out. So I was glad that we were able to move Cromwell over to our car, and it was a pretty seamless transition. Them guys have been great to work with, and glad to have them on the car.
That's got to be a pretty cool deal, though, from a product standpoint. That's like a guy's dream. You get your garage full of power tools, and now you get some whiskey.
Yeah, it makes great gifts too. You can drive a lot of people with a bottle of Crown Royal, that's for sure.
I also want to introduce Jamie Allison. He's the director of Ford North American Motorsports, and boy, he's very dangerous because he's really smart. He's an electrical engineer, and he knows marketing. So that's pretty special there to have both those talents. So you've been with Ford since 1987, I think, and now overseeing the motorsports program. So again, I just want to thank you for being out at MIS, and it's great to have Ford out there and doing well as a company. I want to say that too. So.
Well, absolutely, thank you. I mean, we are all part of the community here, and Ford's been through some hard times, and we are coming out of those hard times, and thanks to all the support from the consumers, the partners, the series, the drivers, and everybody pulled together to support Ford. So thank you, and we're very excited to pick up the second half of this season on a high note.
You mentioned the first half of the season, and I know you said you were willing to take a tough question, so I'm going to ask it, because you know engineering and marketing, so I'm sure it's going to be a great answer. But you started off 0 for 20 in the first half of the year. I'm sure that's not the way you wanted to go, but things have been picking up. Matt's been running well. Carl had a great run in Chicago. What do you think is going to happen in the second half that didn't happen in the first?
Indeed, I mean, everything we do is analyzed, researched, and tracked very minutely. In the first part of the season, what most fans don't know, over the last 2 years, a couple things have happened. One, Ford has had the oldest engines in the garage. NASCAR had allowed all the manufacturers to update their engines. Toyota, when it came in, they were first, and then in came Dodge, and then in came GM, and we were the last one in the queue. Not a big deal. We were planned to do that middle of last year for a variety of reasons. We really didn't get our chance to bring our new engine until MIS earlier this season. So when you're giving up power, you're giving up efficiency, you're giving up a lot when you have the oldest engine, number one. Two, at the end of 2 years ago, NASCAR banned testing at the tracks where you go race. While like any great organizations where you're built on a lot of testing for the equipment that you're driving, that does impact you. And those companies, those teams, those suppliers who are able to pick up vehicle simulations and anticipate and unload a little better saw more improvements on the track than we have.